Artistry is a muscle. It requires exercise as much as it requires rest. There are no rights and wrongs to either state of activity. No rest is too long, and no period of work is too short. At times, however, the rest may become tiring. There is a desire within the artist to break free, but an inability to envision how they will do so. This feeling is best described as creative burnout. To better illustrate, I will tell you a story. For nearly 3 years during my late teen and young adult life, I was in the trenches of a creative burnout. The phase of my life that was supposed to bring new life, new inspiration, and emotional awakenings to my art instead halted it in its tracks. What happened? Interestingly, my creative drought occurred after a period of abnormally high project turnover. To provide context, when I was 16 years old, I underwent a severe traumatic experience and found that in order to survive, I was going to need distractions and lots of them. This prompted a 6-month period of manic creative production and high project turnover that I have very little present-day recollection of, and I cannot recall the inspiration, motivation, and feeling behind any of the pieces created during this time. The most likely scenario is that I was never inspired to begin with. I was grasping for comfort because my talent was supposed to bring it to me, but the time wasn't right and my heart was not present. The work steadily declined in quality and expression before simply vanishing altogether. 2 years passed and the holidays came around. I knew I wanted to save money that year, so I began thinking up simple and thoughtful handmade gifts for my loved ones. Soon enough, photo albums turned into crocheted coasters, which turned into sewn hair bows and bags and painted portraits. Suddenly, it all seemed so easy. So what happened? Something switched, and the desire to create returned. More importantly, my fulfillment from doing so also returned. I've experienced the joy of gifting firsthand, but I had simply never thought to apply this logic to my passion and talents. When I cannot imagine what to possibly create for my own enjoyment, I think of what my family and friends would be excited to receive. When I am feeling talentless and unfulfilled, the smiles of my beloved recipients are infinitely more effective than any professional or digital affirmation I could dream of receiving. Could this advice be outrageously obvious? Perhaps, but it changed my life. And although my advice here could be interpreted plainly as give more, make more, I believe the psychology behind this is deeper and more instinctual. Human beings are social creatures. It is in our DNA. We long to exist among others, especially in a positive light. We yearn for community, collaboration, and approval. So it's not necessarily about giving or even sharing your creativity, it's about socializing it. Socialize your talent. Find ways that your talent fulfills needs in your communities, friendships, and homes. If socializing and community is needed for us to simply exist and survive, who's not to say that giving to that community, giving to others, is a lot more necessary to our mental health than we've ever actually considered. And on a further note, necessary to our creative spirit. In a certain light, when you utilize your creativity as if it is more a skill and less a form of magic, you set yourself free from the confines that cause creative burnout to begin with. A plumber does not become frustrated with himself when he has no broken pipes to repair at home. At home, if he aches to practice his skill and wants to leave his restful state to enter a period of work, he had ought to leave the house and go find someone who has a need for him. Your creativity is a skill that is always needed and always valuable, but you may not be the person who needs it most. Lately, a large outlet for my socialization has been, you guessed it, social media. And as lovely as it is, I don't think it is practical or even ideal to expect every artist and creative individual to utilize social media in order to socialize their talent. Social media can be alright, great even, in the search for like minds and new explorations of your craft, but there are hindrances to the creative mind lurking around every pixelated corner. Firstly, and most detrimentally, the inescapability of comparison. When you are bombarded with endless hordes of content portrayals of great, albeit largely dishonest, success stories and child prodigies that seem to have accomplished much more than you in such a shorter period of time, it is all but impossible not to give up. Needing to contribute to the 9-to-5 work system in order to maintain basic survival is already challenging enough. You add social media into that mix, and it is a wonder that anyone maintains their creative spirit past the age of 25. But in the age of social platforms, how do you socialize? To begin with, write a letter. Pick a loved one, a friend, yourself even, anyone at all. Pull out some old forgotten stationery and begin writing letters. Talk about where you want to go in your creative life. Talk about where you are. Talk about something wholly unrelated. Make a friend. Yeah, I know, easier said than done. But no one's doing it, so the competition is low. You have that much on your side. Pick a library, a game cafe, a museum. Tell them about what you do and your skills. Maybe if you are a frequent enough visitor, you will catch the eye of people who work there and may be interested in your creative energy as well. Volunteer. Visit your local buy-nothing communities and offer up leftover or outgrown products of your creative abilities. You don't want that beanie you knit 3 years ago? Someone else does. These activities may seem irrelevant, but they are actually quite the opposite. Writing a letter will not make you a great painter, but it will remind you how good it feels to put something down on the paper. Visiting a game cafe will not make you a great musician. However, it may encourage you to go home and brush up on a few old tunes for the impending visit of a new friend that you made. Volunteering will not improve your writing, but meeting new walks of life will give you inspiration for new stories. Or perhaps, at the heart of it all, simply sharing a part of yourself, which is your creative spirit, with other people, sets your passion into motion once more. In a way, people who love your passion will hold you accountable for it. They will ask you how you are doing in it. They will want to see more of it, and they will be so delighted and provide you with a lot of emotional fulfillment every time they receive a gift from you because of it. Share, gift, and socialize your creativity. I promise you that your creative energy will burn brighter and not burn out. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you later.